What is going on, everyone? My name is Kyle, and I suck at budgeting. And I am so overwhelmed with everything going on with budgeting. I've done budgeting in the past, and I have stopped because I sucked at it. But I'm making a conscious effort to get back into it and keep it up this time. What I have been doing, however, is actually pushing people towards budgeting, which I know is kind of weird because if it's something that I'm not actively or was not actively doing, why am I recommending it? Well, um, it hit me. I was reading a book, and it's a book I've read many, many times. And one of the things it says in the book that the best way to get better at something is to teach it. Um, because once you can explain it to someone, then you really understand it, have a better grasp over the materials. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. So this is going to be kind of a beginning walkthrough of my budget. It has changed so many times just since I restarted again back at the end of December, early January, and it's changed like 5 or 6 times, like the layout and the way I'm doing emergency funds and that sort of thing. So I'm sure it'll change again by the next video. But here's the kind of gist of how we're going to work this. I think tonight or today we're just going to do kind of a general overview of what I've got so far, and then on the 10th and the 25th when I get paid, we'll go through and I'll do a budget with me session, and then I'll show you another thing that I use, which is an app called Todoist. Todoist is a fantastic application that I use to kind of keep track of things that I need to do, and it's really helped me, and I've actually incorporated it into my budget stuff, and I'll show you how I do that along the way. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, you'll see that I am halfway through the month of February. It is the 12th of February. And things are actually looking pretty good, with the exception of one or two things here and there that we'll talk about when we get to it. So you'll see that my bills, for the most part, fully funded. So insurance and my Jeep are good to go. Rent's not due until the 29th, so I have another paycheck coming in on the 25th. So that will take care of that. So that's not a big deal. Electric is funded, water's funded, internet's funded, cell phone is funded. We're good to go all there. In fact, I've paid all of these. I typically pay everything on the 15th. I was anxious to get stuff paid this month, so I actually paid it all today. So transactions should be coming in the next day or two. So that is great. Insurance gets pulled, I think, on the 17th. So we're a couple days out for that, but everything's good to go there. So that's great. So here's a couple things that I've added tonight because I forgot about them. I've always had this Channels DVR mom. So I set up my mom with a Channels DVR account, and during the testing phase, I just paid for it. And I just kind of figured I'll just keep paying for it, after all the help that she's given me over the years. $80 a year, hardly worth being concerned over. So, but I have been paying it monthly. So this is where Todoist kind of comes in. So I'm going to flip over to Todoist. This is Todoist. This is where I keep track of all of my things. And you'll see that right here, it says, where is it? Switch Mom's channels to annual. So I've been paying it monthly. It's $8 a month. If you pay it annually, it's $80 a year. So you get 2 months for free, essentially. So I have a reminder that April 1st, I'm going to switch it over to an annual payment. Mine, it gets renewed on March, and I don't want to have them renewing the same. I don't know why. It's just the way I want to do it. So I'm going to pay one more extra month, and then we'll go back to getting that paid annually for her. So let's switch over back to YNAB. So I forgot that mine is my annual Channels DVR account gets charged next month, so we're going to start budgeting for that. Frequent stuff. We got dog food, we got groceries, we got eating out. This is my big thing. Like, I've been spending way too much on food, I've noticed, so I'm trying to gonna rein that back in. Transportation is what it is. I drive a lot for work, and that is how it goes. We're gonna skip over this emergency fund because it's really funky and it bothers me. So we'll skip that for a minute, and we'll get to the goals category. I have this fun account. I don't know why. It's actually a second debit card account. So I live in Ohio. I used to live in New York. My bank is still in New York. So I've had a couple of instances where my credit card or my debit card has become compromised, and I was living without a debit card for a week, and that was no fun. So I actually have two debit cards right now. So I kind of use one as a backup, and in fact, that was just compromised last week. So that was awesome. So the new one is here, and so it's all good, but whatever. So home maintenance, home improvement. So home improvement, I've been actually doing some painting this week. So way over budgeted for it, but that's okay, and overspent it kind of. So it's actually even weirder than that, but suffice it to say, there's no overspending. I sent an order into Amazon, canceled it immediately, but it was one of those deliveries where it's supposed to be delivered like overnight. So they still charged me. So I'm waiting for that to come back. So that overspent category is going to go away once they reimburse that charge. So that's why I'm leaving it as overspent. I could move money around to cover it, but I'm not going to. In fact, clothes is actually what caused the Amazon account. So I needed to pick up something really quick for work, and found it locally as opposed to waiting for Amazon. So been getting into vinyl records recently. So here's a vinyl records account. 150 is kind of overkill, I think, for records monthly, but the first month I was really into it and spent a bunch to get some good stuff that I was looking for. And a lot of the people that I listened to came out with records around this time. So like Jacob Collier and Hannah Wicklund. So I sprung for some records that I wouldn't have normally sprung for, but I kept it as a 150 going forward just to see how it goes. Speaking of hobbies, record player, it's one I've been looking for a long time, and I finally pulled the trigger on it and did that. So lawn care for the year actually came this week. So that's already done. YNAB actually going to get charged next month. I bought it last year, and it's coming up due again. So I did, just to give you a little rundown, I did YNAB from like February to like July, August-ish, and then just stopped until back in December, January of this year. So taxes are done. Paid H&R Block for my taxes this year. So there's that. And then we have a whole bunch of domains and hostings and lots of different things. So I pay for Google Drive for backups for some of my video projects that I work on. I have a podcast, the podcast hosting. Actually, I have several podcasts. So that podcast hosting gets paid annually. So that's there. Then the domains, TOTM2, Kyle Mazer Photography. Why am I yelling? Kyle Mazer, K Mazer Tech, Kyle Mazer Music, and my web hosting. All of those are annual bills, kind of in the tech space. So they're all in various stages of being paid. What'll likely happen, I think, is that I'll just end up funding them like outright because they're so cheap. It's $35 a year. I probably would have to do it this way, but I don't know. The targets are there, so that's what I do. So you'll notice that everything here has a target, which I think is super important. So that's that. Let's get to the weird category that this is the one that really tripped me up and kind of I've been thinking about all day. So I have this emergency fund thing. It's a category. I started it out with I started out as a linked account, but a linked budget account, which I realized was probably the wrong way to do it, although people say to do it this way. Anyway, suffice it to say, I have moved it over to a tracking account because it makes more sense in my brain to do it that way. And then in the process of doing that, I've got this weird like negative assigned thing going on, but the numbers all match. And Nick True says this is how you do it. I don't remember seeing a negative number in his assign, but maybe, I don't know. So I'm hoping that it all works out next month. So that's the budget in a nutshell. So you'll see that I've got 15 days age of money. Hopefully that's going to increase to a month ahead. We're getting there. And then 20 days of buffering. And obviously I'm using the YNAB toolkit, which I have barely touched. Just putting on the buffering and emphasizing the colors a little bit. Maybe we'll get into the YNAB toolkit a little bit as I explore it. But yeah, that's where we're at. So going forward, the plan is to do 2 videos a month minimum as I budget. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have to say that I've been watching a lot of you folks out there doing the budget with me stuff. And I've learned a lot from you guys, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that I can help out with this as well and help others in their budgeting journey. Now, I will tell you this, I suck at this so much, but if I can answer any questions, I will be happy to do so. Don't ask me how to do this emergency fund thing because I've totally screwed it up, and I spent literally the entire day thinking about it and trying to figure out how to make it work. After my initial automatic withdrawal came in yesterday. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys stick around. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up or whatever, and then hit that bell notification. Those are the 3 things, right? Like, subscribe, bell. Yeah. So we'll see you on the 25th. That's when my next paycheck comes in. And it might be the 26th or 27th, something like that. End of the month. How about that? End of the month, we'll do something. And we'll go from there. So thanks again. My name's Kyle. Hope you stick around for a while. Hope I don't bore you. See you.